Hey, top of the muffin, look at you. What are you after talking about there, Big Clue? How are you, my friend? Welcome in. Saw you at Robert's game. A little Giants Padres action. So good to see you. Hope you had a good weekend as we are about to start the madness again for another week. So tonight, I thought about I was going to do game one of that KCCL league, that tournament. But I think we're just going to play off the Nuff Ceds versus the 1940 Reds. Just for giggles, just because those were fun, and we're going to have the Nuff Ceds visit Cincinnati. It's the 1940 Reds team that's really good. Maybe not a lot of high-profile names that you would remember through baseball history, but I think a really, really good team. And you can see there on the screen their record in 1940: 100 wins and 53 losses. So definitely not any slouches. All right, yep, I understand that. Back to the coal mines in the morning. I hear you, my friend. Ugh. That's all right. I'm going to get the new channel started and been doing a lot with artwork and looking at putting up an Etsy store and just a lot of busy stuff going on because he's getting tired of working for the man. Getting tired of working for the man. Yes, indeed. So, anyhow, this has just been all a bunch of exhibition games, but I'm thinking of possibly turning this into a sort of season type thing to have some fun with, or maybe another big tournament on its own. Need to add 3 more teams to even it out, but we'll see. But just for tonight, let's do this. So Dublin at Cincinnati, the Cincinnati Reds, and hopefully Big Clue, even though he's chilling every once in a while, maybe if he feels so compelled to talk about these 1940 Reds. He's a big Reds fan. By the way, just ordered, again, rebuilding my baseball library. Actually, I need to fix that right now. I'm on eBay. On eBay, as I always tell you guys, there's always these great baseball games, or great baseball books, I should say, that are on the cheap. So the one that I picked up here that I'm just about to press the button on is one that I had a long time ago, and realizing it only goes up to 2006, but still it's good stuff. And this is called the Team by Team Encyclopedia of Major League Baseball. It's a 992-page paperback. So I'm gonna do that in a second. But with these big baseball games, or big baseball games, good God, with these bigger books, of course, you're not going to get anything that's really, really up to date. But I think a lot of fun for historical purposes, and I don't think that Baseball Reference and StatHead and things like that, I don't think they're enough. And Seam Heads, I mean, they're great. They're really great. But that being said, so let me just check this bad boy out. $4.39. I mean, come on. Right? It's good stuff. So, and then we'll get going here in a second. I couldn't pass this up. I mean, come on, $5. You can't beat it with a stick. So just finishing this bit up, and then we'll get on to it. It says I should get it by March 18th, so pretty cool. Probably be pretty drunk on March 18th, but that's neither here nor there. So anyhow, there we go. There's Robbie Wartburg talking about books. So Robbie, Team by Team Encyclopedia Baseball Team by Team Encyclopedia Baseball, just picked it up for $4, $4.38 on eBay. It's a 992-page paperback. Get buying, buddy. Get buying. Buy some baseball books. All right. Anyhow, Robbie Wartburg, after a big stretch of work, is back with us, home safe and sound. All right. So tonight, our Dublin guys are going to travel to Crosley Field in Cincinnati, Ohio, Cincinnati, and they're going to play the 1940 Reds. Oh, wrong Reds. Where'd they go? Where'd you guys go? There you go. Had the wrong Reds there for a second. All right. What's the matter, dude? Don't you like big old, you don't like big hardbacks? Buddy, they're the best. They're the best. All right. So we're going to go ahead and we'll set up our lineup, tweak it around a bit. All right. Actually, I'm not going to tweak this one at all. I like this one. Except it keeps wanting to put Haas Radborn in right field. And I think we're going to put, Keeler in right for a change. And I'm going to move Keeler up behind Wagner. Actually, I want to do Keeler-Wagner. So Keeler, Wagner, Delahanty, Brothers, Lajoie, Grady at third. Do I want Mike Grady at third? He does need some playing time. Nah, I'm putting in Homer and Baker. We'll leave Deke McGuire, Davis, and center. No, I think we'll play Ty Cobb in center. And we're going to have Keeler, Cobb, Wagner, Delahanty, Brothers. There we go. So pretty nice little lineup. So Robbie says that reading paperbacks is easier than reading hardbacks. Okay. Anyhow, Big Clue says he thinks his next fantasy team may be the Porkopolis Pork Chop Express. Hire Jack Burton as their manager. Always pissed me off that the Reds did virtually nothing to promote. Remember their 1930, 1940 teams, and I wonder why that is. That's clubs do weird things, right? I mean, I've said so many times that, for the Pittsburgh Pirates, it's always about, and I'm not taking anything away from them about Roberto Clemente, Willie Stargell, and Hannes Wagner, but Archie Vaughn and Paul Wainer and some of our other guys like Babe Adams. They get forgotten in Pittsburgh. And certainly teams. You don't hear a lot of talk in Pittsburgh about the 1925 Pirates, for instance, or even the 27 Pirates who got murdered by the Yankees, but still, they were a fine team in their own right. I wish I knew why franchises do the things they do, Big Clue. Yeah, they won't be as familiar with them, but the whole point of, organizations like the Hall of Fame, yeah, to educate people, right? I know. Anyhow, unfortunately, it is what it is, and I hate to say that, but it is so true. All right, let's get this one in and get it done, just for fun. All right. Well, we don't need to do all the stuff. I realize though that I keep defaulting to Walter Johnson, but just a bunch of exhibitions. So let us look at this 1940 Cincinnati's Red defense. First from first to third, Frank McCormick at first, Lonnie Fry at second. There's a name people should know. Eddie Yost at short. Billy Werber at third. From left to right, Mike McCormick. So we have two McCormicks here, so I'm going to mess that up quite a few times. Harry Kraft in center. Eval Goodman in right, catching Ernie the Schnoz Lombardi, which, if you know anything about baseball, right, Hall of Famer and the great snooze and all that stuff. And Paul Derringer. So Paul Derringer will face Wee Willie Keeler, Ty Cobb, and Hannes Wagner to start it off here. So welcome to Crosley Field, out there beyond the center field fence. Was the headquarters of the Crescent Tool Company. So Crescent wrenches, there you go. And I guess by this time the Longo Spaghetti House and Petri Wine billboards. They're gone. So in earlier photos you'll see those. But we're ready to rock here. Let's have some fun. And this is a very, very sort of far away from the plate view of Crosley. I need to get a better version of Crosley Field. But for this is fun. There's Ken Castro coming in. Yep. Thank you for saying that, Big Clue, by the way. So let me do your by the way. By the way, Action PC has 1940 seasons on sale right now, and they just got updated, all of them with more data too. Yep. So ordered mine today. They will be available March 19th. So on the Feast of St. Joseph. So another week. But they're coming. So pick them up. Pick them up, pick them up, pick them up. Even if you don't do season replays, Dave is going back and where does the other games don't really do this too much. Dave going back, updating all the seasons. He's done what I think the 20s, 30s. He's done a bunch of them. I'll have to look. But this is a guy that's so dedicated to his project and dedicated to his game. So, and even those of you like Ken Castro that don't play it anymore, it's really cool at least that you bought it. It gives a good developer, allows him to keep moving forward with an absolutely superb baseball sim. All right, Keeler will lead off against Paul Derringer. Here we go. And the trick is going to be to keep my McCormicks sorted out. So Willie Keeler, one of the game's great place hitters, a bunter, very good bunter. 2-0 delivery to Keeler by Derringer, and we're about to get on the way. Beautiful day here in Cincinnati. Keeler sends it out to center field. Harry Kraft ranges to his right and makes the catch. Out number one. So it is 64 degrees here in Cincinnati. Not a cloud in the sky. Winds just 3 miles per hour out to center. The Georgia Peach, Ty Cobb now. And we don't need a lot of introduction for Cobb. Derringer, the 2-1. Cobb, liner, right to Lonnie Fry. So 2 up, 2 down. Derringer pitching very, very effectively in the first two batters. The Flying Dutchman now, Hannes Wagner. Derringer deals the 2-1. Wagner swings, fly ball. This one right into the glove of Harry Kraft. And the Dublin Nuff Ceds go 1-2-3. We go to the bottom of the first. The Nuff Ceds nothing, and the 1940 Cincinnati Reds coming to bat. And there is Robert, RJO Network. He says he has instant karma, and that definitely counts. Great John Lennon song. So just caught Robert another game, or the last 4 innings, I believe it was, or 3 innings of Robert's 1988 replay, and my Bucks are starting to feel a little heat in that league, starting to worry me a little bit. So Montreal trying to catch my Pirates. Robert's Reds really hot. The Orioles really hot right now. So a huge game tomorrow night on RJL Network. The greatest rivalry in sports, not just baseball, in sports. The New York Yankees and Boston Red Sox fighting for first place. Tune in. That's usually 7:30, 8 o'clock. I'm sure Robert will be kind enough to put that into chat. That's been just such a fun thing to watch. Nice. Yeah, that's really cool, Ken, that you do. He says he bought 2 new baseball, so digital game startups over the past week. He says they both suck, so I figure it's a contribution to a small biz. Now, that's nice. But, again, I know that, Ken, you bought Action PC, messed with a little while, and though you'll never play it again. Again, just, Dave Cook is such an amazing developer, so good on you, mate. All right, shortstop, or third baseman Billy Werber will lead it off. In 1940, he was .277, 12 homers, 48 runs batted in. For our next Ned McGreevy All-Stars game, we're going to go closer to modern, and we're going to be having our Nuff Ceds face off against the 1972 Oakland Athletics, so that should be a good barn burner. But I wanted to get a 1940s team on here because, frankly, nobody does a lot with 1940s baseball. Walter Johnson, the 2-1, and Billy Werber. This is going to go for extra bases. Cobb giving chase to center. The throw gets into Nop Lajoie, and third baseman Billy Werber in scoring position for the Reds for Lonnie Fry. Second baseman, 266 average for him, 8 home runs, 54 runs batted in. Fry bats lefty, excellent bunter. Johnson has the sign from Deacon McGuire. Here's the wind in the 0-1 pitch to Lonnie Fry. Fry gets the bunt down, McGuire pouncing on it, tosses on to Lajoie, covering at first for the 2-4 putout, and Billy Werber will make it to third. One away for Ernie the Schnoz Lombardi. A .319 average, 14 home runs, 74 runs batted in. So the Cincinnati team would be a fun one if you were to do it in a replay, because there's really not a lot of speed. The speeds in Billy Werber, right, and Lonnie Fry. As far as the power goes, the middle three, but not what I would call overwhelming power. So Lombardi, McCormick, and Goodman. So you've got some pretty good pitching as well, Vandermeer and Paul Derringer. But this would be, but they were 153 in 1940. So I think if you were to do a replay and you wanted to do some older baseball, the 1940 Reds would be a challenge, even though they finished first. Could you get them back there again? All right. So that says Lombardi batting one down and the go-ahead run 90 feet away, and Billy Werber. Johnson working from the stretch, the 0-2 to Lombardi, and Lombardi chops to short. Wagner up with it. Wagner will go to first to Dan Bruthers to retire Lombardi. Billy Werber will score, and it's 1-0 Reds here in the bottom of the first with 2 down. Right, yeah. The other big thing about Lombardi's big clue, right? Possibly delayed. So Lombardi's Veterans Committee election in 1986 possibly delayed because Lombardi was unfairly smeared as the GOAT of the 1939 series because of the snooze play. But Big Clue talking about another aspect that we didn't, or that I haven't. He said those Reds were the best defensive team in baseball. Gold gloves throughout the infield. McCormick, Fry, Myers, Werber. So good to have a very knowledgeable Reds fan in here talking about it. So yeah, so tomorrow, guys, it's going to be the New York Yankees at the Boston Red Sox on Inside Pitch Baseball on RJO Network. So check it out. Check it out. Robert really does a great job there. All right, first baseman Frank McCormick at .309 in 1940, 19 home runs, 127 runs batted in. Johnson with the 1-0. McCormick sends this to center field. Cobb back on it, and he can just watch it go as Frank McCormick hits a solo shot, and just that quickly, it's 2-0 now for the 1940 Reds. This one bomb going 397 feet. I thought for a moment there was enough distance for it to hit the Crescent Tool Company there out beyond center field and across the street. Of course, there's official Longines time out there in left field, those wonderful clocks that you found in so many of the ballparks at the time. Forbes Field also had one in left. Not sure why the clocks were always in left field, but there you go. All right, Eval Goodman now, 258 average, 12 homers, 63 ribbies in 1940. Johnson brings it home to 1-0, and this one's going to be the Ty Cobb show, running in hard and making this play to retire the side, but the Cincinnati Reds pick up 2 runs, 2 hits, no errors. We've played 1, the 1940 Reds 2, and the Ned McGreevy Dublin Nuff Ceds nothing, and that's a lot to say. And there's Tim. Good to see Tim. And here, Clee Baseball Fan 879, another excellent channel that you should be subscribing to, and if you haven't, why not? Ed Delahanty will lead it off, followed by Dan Bruthers and Home Run Baker. And Ken, in case you're wondering, I was going to do Game 1 tonight of the KCCL tournament, but decided just to do this one. So either way, we just got some old-time baseball going on. We will start that and Game 1 of the Ned McGreevy World Series. this coming week. I'm just wiped out. That difference, that hour ahead, I'm just wiped out, man. I'm looking at the clock, and you're really wishing it was, what, 8:39 and not 9:39 or whatever time it is. What the hell time is it anyhow? Yep, 9:39. I want it to be 8:39. Still looking forward to baseball season, spring, and all that good stuff. Derringer now to Delahanty. Delahanty swings, long fly ball to left, but McCormick under it makes a leaping grab. Nice play in left field to retire Ed Delahanty. Here is Dan Bruthers now. Bruthers with a .316 average, 21 dingers, 102 runs batted in. This is definitely a faster team, but you're going to see more errors because of the era they played in. Derringer with the 0-2. Bruthers chops to third. Werber, nice smooth play at third on to McCormick to take care of Dan Bruthers, and here's home run Baker. Baker with a good, long, superb baseball career, Hall of Famer, deservedly so. Derringer's 0-1, routine fly ball to Kraft. Harry Kraft brings it in center field. Side retired, and we go to the bottom of the second. It's the Reds 2, and the Nuff Ceds nothing. Mike McCormick will lead it off here. Not to be confused with the Mike McCormick replay recently done by a Clee baseball fan, the 1976 Mike McCormick. This is the 1940 Mike McCormick and a completely different dude. All right. McCormick in 1940, 300 average, 1 home run, 30 runs batted in. Johnson, the 2-0, chopped to short. Wagner ranging hard to his left and gets it down to Bruthers for out number 1. Ken Castro, hey, there's Todd B. Good evening to Todd B. Ken Castro says, was the Canadian Hall of Fame equivalent of the Player of the Year, excelled in individual achievement and team contribution while adhering to the highest ideals of the game. And Robbie saying he understands how I feel. Yep, and I don't get any days off, buddy. Back to it tomorrow morning at 7. 7 in the morning all week this week, so, but that's all right. Just earlier baseball. Usually go on right after Robert's broadcast, so most of the time. Sometimes I do have to go in a little bit earlier, but try to catch that before I come on here. Get me geared up, man. The crowd cheers. Yay. All right. Johnson delivers to Harry Kraft, hitting .244 in 1940. Wagner has this bounding ball, and Dan Bruthers has it for the routine 6-3 put out. 2 up, 2 down for the Reds for Eddie Yost. Hitting .216, a home run, 24 runs batted in. Bats from the right. Johnson brings it home, the 1-1 to Yost. Chopper to second, Lajoie up with it onto Bruthers, and the 4-3 retires the side. And we go to the top of inning number 3. And the 1940 Reds with a 2-0 lead over the Nuff Ced All-Stars. Deacon McGuire, Napoleon Lajoie, and Walter Johnson will bat here in the visitors' half of the third here at Crosley Field, Cincinnati, Ohio. Just over the bridge from Kentucky. Deacon, 309, 3 dingers, 54 ribbies. Derringer brings it. Chopper to third. Billy Werber making it look so easy over there at third. So the 5-3 put out of McGuire is the first out of the inning, and here's Napoleon Lajoie. Lajoie tearing it up. We will see Lajoie in the KCCL tournament, so we get to see Nap Lajoie ripping it up once again as he did in the Ned McGreevy League. Derringer brings it to Lajoie, the 2-0. Lajoie, base hit, right field. Goodman up with it on to Lonnie Frey, so Lajoie will hold third with 1 out. Big Clue giving us some more about 1940 Reds, and in this case, Crosley Field. He says, incidentally, in 1940, that scoreboard clock didn't exist yet. That was in the late 50s that it got installed. So I guess that would explain why the Longo Spaghetti House. So probably the image that I use in baseball for windows of Crosley is quite a bit older, and it looks like that. But there is the Crescent Tool Company still standing. Don't know if that original building is there in Cincinnati. I don't even know if Crescent Tools is even still in business anymore. And I work for a company that sells tools, so we don't sell Crescent or anything like that, but I'm just curious whether they're still around or not. It's one of those brands that people refer to wrenches as Crescent wrenches, even if they weren't made by the Crescent Tool Company. Just like we Xerox things or we buy Kleenex, no matter what the brand. Infield in at the corners, McCormick in at first, Billy Werber in at third for Walter Johnson, who's a good hitting pitcher, 236, 2 home runs, 14 ribbies. Paul Derringer brings it to his mound opponent. There goes Lajoie, the throw down, and Nat Lajoie has the steal. So the Nuff Ceds trying to kick up their running game here. Runner in scoring position. Johnson back in the box, and the 0-1 delivery from Paul Derringer. And this one popped high in the infield, and Lonnie Frey calls for it and makes the catch. So 2 down. Lajoie remaining at second, infield fly rule. And we're back at the top of the order, and Willie Keeler fly to center back in the first for hit 'em where they ain't. We'll see Willie with the 1894 Baltimore Orioles this week. Derringer brings it to Keeler. The 1-0, comebacker to the mound. Derringer fielding it nicely. On to Frank McCormick at first. Side retired. So no runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left. And we go to the bottom of the third. Cincinnati still with a 2-0 lead. Todd B says he's protesting. He didn't move his clock ahead, so he'll be off for every hour until October. Boy, do I wish we could do that. All right, Paul Derringer now, and this will be our first time through the Cincinnati order. Derringer batted .167 in 1940 with 8 home runs. Maybe some night when Big Clue's hanging around, we'll replay one of these early Reds World Series. Johnson works to Derringer. Popped on the infield. Wagner going out. Shallow outfield, calling for it, calling off Delahanty. And Wagner, showing that superlative range that he has, makes the put out in shallow left. 1 away. And we're back at the top of the order for Billy Werber, who's just been playing some amazing third base, making it look easy tonight. Double back in the first. Werber would score. Johnson delivers to Werber. The 1-1. Billy Werber swings. This one grounded foul on the left-hand side. The 1-2 now to Billy Werber from Johnson. And Werber sends this one to left, but Delahanty didn't even move. So 2 down here for second baseman Lonnie Frey. Frey also spending some time with, I believe, the Cubs. Lonnie Frey was also a Cubby. So sacrifice back in the first. Johnson to Fry. Fry gets a bunt down. Bruthers has it. He'll fire on to Lajoie. Lajoie will take it, but Johnson backing up on that play. And we've played 3. It's still 2-0. Ty Cobb, Hannes Wagner, and Ed Delahanty due up. Cobb in the contest, 0-1. Line to second back in the first. Infield looking bunt from the Georgia Peach. Here's Derringer's delivery, the 1-0. Cobb popped this one up on the infield. Yost and Fry conversing, but Yost calling off Lonnie Fry for out number 1. So far what Big Clue's talked about with this infield of these 1940 Cincinnati Reds, at least as we enter the middle innings. Just some nice plays. The Nuff Ceds managing just 1 hit off of Paul Derringer. Hannes Wagner fly to center back in the first. Derringer has the sign from Schnoz. Here is the wind, and Wagner bunts in this first pitch. Billy Werber has it, and Wagner gets aboard on the bunt base hit. So nice bunt by the Flying Dutchman, and the tying run comes to the plate in Ed Delahanty, who had 10 home runs on this baseball history collection file. Wagner at first with excellent speed. 48 steals on this BHC. Lombardi not terribly strong back there in terms of an arm, but the Cincinnati battery keeping a good eye on the Flying Dutchman. Throwing over, and Wagner back ahead of Frank McCormick's tag. Derringer looks home. The 1-1. There goes Wagner. Hit and run play on Delahanty. Skies it to left. And Frank McCormick has it. Or Mike McCormick has it. I'm sorry. I told you I'd mess up my McCormicks. And Wagner gets back to first. So 2 away. The hit and run not successful. For Dan Bruthers. Bruthers grounded to third back in the second. Derringer brings it. And there goes Wagner again. And Lombardi's just holding on to the ball. So Wagner picks up a stolen base. Runner in scoring position now. 2 down. Top of the 4th. Lombardi sets the target for Derringer. Derringer wings it home. The 1-0 to Bruthers. And Wagner was on the move. And the hit and run. Not only successful, but Dan Bruthers with a 2-run shot. Ties it up here in the bottom of the 4th. Or the top of the 4th. So it is now 2-2. So what a shot by Bruthers. This one going 382 feet out to left field past that scoreboard. Todd B. asking if the Reds still have a Major League Baseball team. As Big Clue says, there are 3 National League teams who are founding members of the American Association. Bill McKechnie is the only man to manage all 3 of them. It's an NL pennant. How cool is that? McKechnie, of course, very huge in Pittsburgh Pirates history. McKechnie Field, the name of our spring training facility. Big Clue, as well you know. Yep, McKechnie is a strict preacher of pitching and defense as being better than offense on his team. And David Baseball Demos giving us a pun here. Derringer gunned it to first. Nice, nice, nice. So welcome in, David. Looking forward to some baseball again from you, David. I know your set is picking up again in April with your game of the week, so looking forward to that. I know a lot of those on Saturdays, so I'll be catching them on the backside, but really looking forward to game of the week, Baseball Demos. That's the guy that really made me find this great community that we have. So please subscribe, Baseball Demos, to all these guys. A Clee baseball fan, David Baseball Demos, RGL Network. Hover over their name, you'll see 3 dots. Click on Go to Channel and subscribe. Hit the bell to get all notifications. Home run Baker now in the box. He flied to deep center back in the second. 2-2 your score now. 2 down. And Bruthers just cranked it, didn't he? Derringer brings it to 1-1. And Frank Baker will hit this one to center. And Harry Kraft will make the easy put out. But 2 runs, 2 hits, no errors, nobody left. Bottom of the 4th we go. And the Reds and Nuff Ceds tied at 2. Ernie Lombardi will lead it off. And Lombardi in the game. Grounded to short, scoring Billy Werber, making it 1-0 Cincinnati. Johnson brings it home. Neither pitcher has a strikeout yet. Lombardi, base hit right field. Keeler up with it. Gets it into Lajoie. So Lombardi aboard for Frank McCormick. McCormick is 1 for 1 and had that solo shot back in the first. And that made it Cincinnati 2, Dublin nothing back in the first. Dublin tying it up in the 4th, and the Bruthers 2-run shot, scoring Wagner. It was a hit-and-run play on 2 out, too. Very nice. The big train brings it home to McCormick. Again, a 1-1 count. McCormick skies it to right. Willie Keeler squeezes it for out number 1. Lombardi will get back to first. As the throw comes back to Lajoie, and Lajoie tosses it back to Johnson. Cincinnati Reds wanting a new ball in the 19th century, and dead ballers saying, what are you talking about? It's only been in play for 4 innings. All right, Eval Goodman, 0 for 1 in the game. He has flied to shallow left center back in the first. 1 down, tie score. Johnson brings it to 1-2, and Goodman, swing and a miss. Got a little piece of it, but McGuire hangs on. And finally, in the bottom of the 4th, Walter Johnson picks up his first strikeout. 2 down here for Mike McCormick. Left fielder grounded to short back in the second. Johnson brings it home. McCormick swinging on the first pitch. Lombardi was moving, but Cobb has it for out number 3. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left, and we've played 4 here at Crosley Field. And we are knotted at 2. And here comes Dave Little, saying, let's go Reds, seeing the 1940 Reds. And Todd B answering and asking David Baseball Demos, don't Derringers usually misfire? Welcome in, Dave Little. It's good to see you. As Ken and Todd are having a good battle there. Love it. Shots across the bow. Not seeing Clinton Parks yet. Big Clue giving us some more color on the Reds. After the Reds fired McKechnie a few years later as a scapegoat, he never managed again. That's because the Indians paid him double what any coach in baseball made at the time to mentor Lou Boudreau. As Dave Little says, it's good to be seen. And, of course, Lou Boudreau, great shortstop, had a superb, just a great career with the Cleveland Indians. Deacon McGuire is nothing for one. Grounded to third back in the third. 2-2 your score. McGuire will be followed by Lajoie and then Walter Johnson. Derringer with the 0-2 delivery to McGuire. And McGuire, a swing and a miss. So Paul Derringer picks up his first strikeout. So both pitchers even in strikeouts. Neither has walked a batter yet. Lajoie 1 for 1. Single to right. Derringer brings it home. The 1-1. Lajoie swings. This one sky to right. And Eval Goodman has it for out number 2. Walter Johnson now strides to the plate. The big train popped to second, back in the third. Derringer peers in, has the sign from Ernie Lombardi. Here's the delivery to Johnson. Johnson swings. Lofted to left, has some distance, but Mike McCormick will bring it down. Side retired as the Nuff Ceds go quietly, and we go to the bottom of the fifth. Knotted at 2. Game moving along at a nice pace here. We're about a half hour in after my comments. And center fielder Harry Kraft, busy out there in center field today. Grounded to short back in the second. Eddie Yost waits on deck. Johnson brings it, the 0-1. And Kraft shoots this one to Wagner at short. Wagner to Bruthers on the 6-3 putout, and out number 1. Wagner making a nice play earlier, going out onto the almost the middle of the left field to handle a big pop-up. Eddie Yost, nothing for 1. Big grin there by Eddie. There he is, Eddie Yost, a happy man. And looking like that's a Kansas City Athletics hat, or it could be, or did Yost play, no, it could be Philadelphia Athletics, since this is 1940, so I'm guessing maybe it's still the MAC men. All right, Yost waits for the Johnson delivery. The count even on Yost. Fly ball to right. Keeler has it measured and has it caught. 2 up, 2 down for Paul Derringer. Popped to short back in the third. So the Reds and Nuff Ceds making it a very interesting game. Johnson brings it now full count to Derringer. And Derringer, this one completely fooled. Called strike 3. We go to the top of the 6th. Still 2-2. Big Clue, Ken will appreciate this. Crosley Field was also the first ballpark, to install air conditioning in the press box. Ken hit the like button down there. You have to mouse your... Big Clue said Yost wouldn't become an all-star until after he left the Reds at the end of the Second World War. But they traded Vince DiMaggio out of their D surplus earlier that summer for, if he recalls, Rizzo, an extra outfield bat. Otherwise, Vince DiMaggio would have won a World Series with this team. Vince DiMaggio, probably the least known of the 3 DiMaggio brothers. Keeler, nothing for 2, has fly to left center, grounded to the pitcher. Derringer's 0-2 delivery. Keeler, chopper to third. Billy Werber once again with a textbook 5-3 putout. 1 down of Keeler. So the fact that Werber's making these nice plays against a very fast Dublin team says a lot for Billy Werber's skill there at third. Ty Cobb has been stymied in 2 attempts. He's lined to second and popped to short. So key thus far has been to keep these fast runners off the base, but it's been power that actually gave enough Ceds the 2 runs they have. Derringer brings it home, the 1-1. Cobb swings. Kraft coming in very quickly. Nice running catch by Harry Kraft to retire Ty Cobb for out number 2. Hannes Wagner 1 for 2. Singled in the infield in the 4th, and Dan Bruthers would knock a bomb to bring in the Flying Dutchman. Derringer into his motion, and the 1-1 to Wagner. Wagner swings, base hit. Right field. Billy Goodman, what am I talking about? Eval Goodman up with it. We just saw Billy Goodman in another game. So, again, mea culpa. So, Wagner with a steal today, and here's Ed Delahanty. Delahanty, batting with 2 down, has flied out twice. Lombardi sets the target. Derringer checks the speedy Wagner at first and throws over. Wagner dives in safely ahead of McCormick's tag. Frank McCormick playing Wagner closely here. Derringer brings it home now. And there goes Wagner, the throw down. And Wagner picks up another steal. So 2 steals for the Flying Dutchman. Delahanty back in the box, batting with 2 down. And it was 2 outs on Dan Bruthers when that home run was hit, scoring Wagner from second. The Nuff Ceds looking for a little bit of a repeat magic, if you will. Derringer brings it to Delahanty. Delahanty swings. Kraft near the wall makes the catch. Side retired. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left. We go to the bottom of the 6th. We are not at a 2. Good ball game here. Dave Little says, working his way back from injury, batting for starting role this spring. Moving him in the wrong direction. Todd Beasis for the Reds fans in here. What became of Nick Senzo? Nick Senzo, he was going to cash in on him when he made it big. Big clue answering Todd Beasis. I blame poor player development system generally, but the Reds for moving him in the wrong direction and defensive spectrum specifically, plus some injuries. All right, getting some good Reds education here tonight from RGO Network asking here, guys. Robert asking if anybody here ever saw a game at Crosley Field. Because, right, Crosley, did it not close in 1970 when Forbes did? Because did Riverfront, I believe, in Three Rivers, weren't they in the same year, within a year of each other? So it could be possible. Certainly possible that somebody here saw a game at Crosley. So good question. Billy Werber, 1 for 2, will lead it off here for the Reds here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Lonnie Fry and Ernie Lombardi will follow him. Werber with a double and a flyout in the game. Johnson deals the 1-2 to Werber, and Billy Werber, this one painting the inside corner. Werber just absolutely flummoxed on that Johnson delivery, and the big train now with 3 strikeouts. And big clue going off. He says, if you're going to get me talking about the dysfunction of the Reds front office, I may as well clock into work and get pissed off by an organization I don't give a damn about. And I can say the same thing about the Pirates front office. Okay, so that means that, so Dave Little says he thinks Riverfront opened in 1970, and he went to his first Major League game at Riverfront in 74. So unless Big Clue went to a game at Crosley, I'm guessing probably nobody here has seen a game at Crosley Field. Lonnie Fry, 0-for-1. Sacrifice in the first and bunted out in the third. Johnson brings it, the 1-2. Fry, chopper up the middle. Nice play by Lajoie, but it's going to be close with the throwing error on Lajoie as the ball gets by Bruthers, but Bruthers keeps it in front of him. And Lonnie Fry will have to hold first. So error on the great Lajoie. And that brings up Ernie Lombardi, who is 1 for 2. RBI in the first and a single in the fourth. Johnson checks Fry at first. Fry with 22 steals. So again, we talked about Really, Werber and Fry having the speed on this 1940 Reds squad. Johnson brings it, throws it over, and Fry back safely ahead of the Dan Bruthers tag. Johnson comes home with it now. And there goes Fry, the hit and run. Johnson, this one deflects off of Johnson. Wagner making a quick play on that ball to retire. Ernie Lombardi. Fry will get the second. What a weird play was that. This one off of the glove of Walter Johnson. Wagner, good heads-up play at short. And that brings up Frank McCormick. McCormick is 1 for 2. Solo shot back in the first, fly to deep right in the fourth. Lonnie Fry in scoring position, and 2 down. The big train fires it in. The 1-2 to McCormick. Cut on base hit left field. This should bring in Lonnie Fry as Delahanty comes up with the ball. Fry will score. Frank McCormick with the RBI single, and it is now 3-2 in favor of the 1940 Cincinnati Reds. Big Clue saying that his father and uncle went to many games at Crosley. However, his uncle was at the final game there, and fans got a lithograph of the park to commemorate it. And he gave it to him as a teen. What class is that, to get a lithograph of it? And what did the poor Brooklyn Dodgers fans get? Just a big old wrecking ball with a baseball, and kaboom. That's really, really cool. Cincinnati's such a great, great, great baseball town. It really is. In it from the beginning. Clinton Parks is in now, and he says that Ken has been to Crosley. He has a photo of it. He said, I think I sent an artist rendition to Beatles. It was under a different name. Palace of the Fans. And shots fired now. So here we go. 3 of the 4 nations at war, that being Clinton Parks, Ken Castro, and Todd B. And we're just waiting for D. Scott Howard to show up. As Eval Goodman steps in, a run in for Cincinnati here in the bottom of the 6th and 2 away. Frank McCormick at first. Goodman has flied out and struck out. Johnson deals to him the 1-0 delivery, and Goodman liner right to home run Baker. So side retired, but 1 run, 1 hit, 1 error, and 1 left on. It was a costly error, actually. And we've played 6. It's the 1940 Cincinnati Reds 3, and the Dublin Nuff Ceds, owned by Ned McGreevy, 2. So Dan Bruthers, home run Baker, and Deacon McGuire. Bruthers, of course, with a 2-run shot back in the 4th, tying this game. Paul Derringer has a strikeout. He deals the 2-1 to Bruthers. Bruthers swings, fly ball into shallow right, and Eval Goodman makes the catch. A nice play by Goodman, coming in fast on that ball in toward the little angle where the right field foul line goes out at the turn of the diamond. Baker nothing for 2. Infield looking bunt. He's flied out twice. Deep to Crosley Field. Baker was an excellent bunter. So Billy Werber in at first. Frank McCormick in at... Werber in at third. McCormick in at first. Derringer with the 0-2. And home run Baker sends this one to center field. Harry Kraft making a nice running catch off to his left in center field. So 2 away here for Deacon McGuire. And the Deacon is nothing for 2. He's grounded out and struck out. Derringer's delivery. McGuire swinging on the first pitch. Long fly ball to left, but gets down into the glove of Mike McCormick. Middle of 7th, the Reds 3 and the Nuff Ceds 2. Clinton Parks in fine fettle tonight as he says, God had a sense of humor and granted us another Castro clan. The original name was Iscariot, but they ran and hid to Basque country, and their brains haven't been the same. Rumor has the Basques are direct descendants of the Neanderthals. As Ken says, laughing my ass off at this group of meatheads. I think people come into this more for the show in the chat than anything. Alright, that's alright. Regardless, everyone's having fun, and that's all that's important to me. Mike McCormick leads it off here for Cincinnati in the bottom of the 7th. The Reds holding a 3-2 lead. McCormick is grounded out and flied out. Winds diminishing a little bit more here in Cincinnati. Temperature a nice 66 degrees. And just a little zephyr. 1 mile per hour out to right. Johnson winds and fires the 2-0 delivery to Mike McCormick. McCormick swings lined, and a leaping grab by home run Baker at the hot corner for out number 1. So McCormick getting good contact in the ball, but home run Baker getting even better leather on it. And here is Harry Kraft. He is grounded out to Wagner twice. Johnson with the 1-2. Kraft swings, and he's going to ground out to Wagner again. Wagner to Bruthers in a 6-3. Maybe Harry Kraft, a little hero worship. Who knows? But 2 down for Eddie Yost. He is grounded to second and fly to deep right. Johnson works to Yost, the 1-0. The 1-0 delivery, and base hit into left field as Ed Delahanty gets that ball in quickly. So Yost aboard, 2 down for Paul Derringer. And 1 second, please, guys. All right, thanks, guys. I called away there just for a moment. Paul Derringer batting with 2 down. Eddie Yost at first. Walter Johnson delivers to Derringer, the 2-0. Derringer swings, chopper up the middle. Lajoie has it. On to Dan Bruthers to retire Paul Derringer and the side. So no runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left. We've played 7 at Crosley. It's the Cincinnati Reds 3 and the McGreevy Nuff Ceds 2. And just all kinds of stuff going on over here in the I can't even catch up to it. So shots fired everywhere. Great entertainment in the chat. Alright, Napoleon Lajoie, Walter Johnson, and Wee Willie Keeler due up here in the 8th for the Nuff Ceds. Lajoie, a single and also fly to right. Again, just letting you guys know, my newest baseball book acquisition, team-by-team encyclopedia of Major League Baseball, 922-page paperback, $4.38 on eBay. So, you guys are looking to build up your library. It's one of the best places to do it. Seeing some just always crazy deals there. The books may not be up to date, but for historical purposes, it's awesome. And also, virtually every edition of Total Baseball is on there if you want it. But actually, after this game or after this broadcast, I'm going to be looking for a book that I used to have called The Ball Players, which was kind of a sort of companion, an earlier companion, I think, before the Biographical Encyclopedia of Baseball, but a companion to Total Baseball. So looking for that and hoping to pick that one up on the cheap. And again, thanks to D. Scott Howard, is not here, sent me the wonderful Fireside Book of Baseball. Helping me rebuild a baseball library I had to leave across the pond. And then the next step is to try to keep building or rebuilding my Magic library. I've got a lot of it recovered digitally, but to you guys in the community, and really I got to hit up Saber and Cousin Ken Castro talking about the meeting he went to a couple months ago and showed me a picture of all those free books. Oh my God. I don't know about our Saber chapter here, but we shall see. Nap Lajoie, 1 for 2. The 1-2 from Derringer. Routine fly ball to center. Harry Kraft has it measured and has it caught. One away now. Walter Johnson. He'll stand to pitch. He's popped out and flied out. Derringer brings it home. The 1-2 to Walter Johnson. And Johnson missing on the changeup. So 2 away and back at the top of the order for Wee Willie Keeler. 0 for 3 in the game. Derringer brings it. Keeler swings, base hit to left. So the McGreevy's pick up base knock number 5. And here is Ty Cobb. So great hit and run tandem here. Keeler with superb speed at first, 43 steals. But Cobb nothing for 3. Cobb with that split hand grip. Derringer brings it, nope, throws over, and Keeler back ahead of Frank McCormick's tag at first. Derringer with the wind, nope, once again, trying to keep Keeler close with 2 down here. So Keeler, sort of another aggressive lead there. Very, very fast, very small. Keeler, I think his playing weight was something like 140 pounds, so tiny dude, but could fly around the bases and literally could hit them where they ain't. Derringer now, the 0-2 to Cobb. Cobb skies this one to right, and that will take care of the side as Eval Goodman makes the catch in right field. We go to the bottom of the 8th, and the Reds holding on to a 3-2 lead. Billy Werber, Lonnie Fry, and Ernie Lombardi due up for the 1940 Reds. This Reds team's a lot of fun. Really liking this. And giving this very tough Ned McGreevy team a really good ball game. 1940s baseball was fun. It really is. Some great seasons in the 1940s. I mean, 1941, 1942. Then you had everybody coming back, 1945. Really, 43 and 44 were the only 2 kind of off years, if you think about it, in the 40s, because then you had the Cleveland Indians winning their world championship. You had Jackie Robinson making his debut, breaking the color barrier in 1947. And then in 1948, Larry Doby would break the color barrier in the American League. The 1940s saw really the beginning of those great Dodgers teams that spanned into the 1950s. The great Yankees-Dodgers matchups in the fall. You had, of course, awesome, just so many. We saw the downfall, of course, of some great franchises too. The Athletics plummeting during the 1940s, the Pirates falling in the 1940s into a dismal 1950s decade. But 1940s baseball is one that kind of gets a little bit ignored. I don't think because people just like it. I just think that maybe there's a misconception that World War II messed the entire decade up, and it really didn't. St. Louis Browns, though, because of the Second World War, would make their one and only World Series appearance in 1944 against the St. Louis Cardinals. The 1-2, and Billy Werber, this one on the outside corner, and Walter Johnson picking up K number 4, 1 down here in the 8th for Lonnie Fry. Fry 0 for 2, including a sacrifice. Johnson brings it full count to Fry. Fry chops it. Bruthers tosses on to Walter Johnson, hustling over to cover first. So 2 away here for Schnaz Lombardi. So RBI back in the first, scoring Billy Werber, and then a single in the 4th. Johnson brings the 2-0 to Lombardi. Lombardi chops to Hannes Wagner. Wagner on to Dan Bruthers to retire the side, and we go to the 9th. And it's going to be up to Hannes Wagner, Ed Delahanty, and Dan Bruthers to try to tie it up here against the 1940 Cincinnati Reds. There's D. Scott Howard, who says he's not here. Okay. All right, Robert, thanks for hanging out with us. Have a good sleep, and looking forward to tomorrow night's Yankees-Red Sox game on RGL Network, 1988 replay, Inside Pitch Baseball, Cards and Dice. Big Clue says, imagine if Greenberg had gone to work for Pittsburgh front office instead of Larry Doby and friends. Yeah, right, instead of Cleveland. Larry and Doby. And the Pirates would not have had such that sort of a slow sink into the dismal 50s. Yeah, one can only wish, right? Ken Castro saying, let's go Nuff Ceds. Big Clue. And I think Clinton Park's asking Cousin Ken about a book. I think. We use the term cousin around here, a bunch of us, so hard to tell who's talking to whom. I think he's talking to Cousin Ken, though. All right, Hannes Wagner is 2 for 3 with 2 steals today. So if the Nuff Ceds would come back and win this, got to hand the MVP to the Flying Dutchman. 2 singles and 2 stolen bases and a run scored. Paul Derringer with 2 strikeouts, winds and fires the 2-1 to Wagner. Wagner, a hard ground ball to Billy Werber. Werber, the long throw across the diamond, in plenty of time to retire the fleet-footed Wagner here in the 9th. At Delahanty, nothing for 3. He is flied out all 3 times. Dan Bruthers waits on deck. Derringer brings it to Delahanty, the 0-2, and that went in there. Strike 3 called. 2 down. Dan Bruthers would like to crank another one here to tie it up. 2-run shot back in the 4th. He grounded out in the 2nd and flied to right in the 7th. Paul Derringer looking for the win, and this should be it. Popped high in the infield. Billy Werber waving everybody off, and that's your game. The 1940 Cincinnati Reds defeat the Ned McGreevy Nuff Ceds 3-2. So highlights for Dublin: Wagner goes 2 for 4 with 2 steals. Dan Bruthers 1 for 4 with a home run, 2 runs batted in. And for the Reds, McCormick goes 2 for 3 with 2 runs batted in. Johnson gets the loss. Derringer gets the win. And that's it. Just that quick. That's it, Fort Pitt. All right, sporting news for many years produced 2 special books a year. The Baseball Guide, which is pretty much an almanac for baseball nerds, and the Register, which is for the rosters for all teams. Can't remember if the Register had the minor league players also. All right, guys, I'm glad we had a little bit of fun here tonight, as it's supposed to be 9:22, but it's actually 10:22. So it's not fair. It is not fair. Big Clue says, and this one belongs to the Reds. Tubby says, another loss for us. We need to play the Indians more. Oh. Well, I'm going to be adding 3 more teams to this, and I'm seriously thinking about making this into a big tournament all its own. Or maybe just for me playing it as a season, quote unquote, and just doing some games here occasionally. But we'll see. But we've got to add 3 more teams. But also setting this up for some other mini projects as well, including that New York Giants, Brooklyn Dodgers shot heard round the world game in 1951. I don't see MV here, so I'm not going to worry about doing that the Mets Tigers thing tonight. I'm only going to do that, I think, when he's here. So there we go. So Clinton Park says he never had had Baseball America. You're just a fan of sporting news. I used to look at Baseball America, but I did like the sporting news better than Baseball America. So just a little reminder here: our dead ball tournament and this playoff bracket. I almost feel like doing an exhibition just between these two games, just for giggles, just tonight, because I'm not really ready to start this yet. But looking forward to the 1911 A's and the 1912 Red Sox in that first round. Cleveland mentioned earlier, though, the 1908 Naps will face the 1904 Giants. The 1914 Miracle Braves will face the 1919 Cincinnati Reds. And the 1907 Tigers against the 1894 Baltimore Orioles. That's round one. And the 1885 White Stockings, the 1884 Providence Grays, the 1909 Pittsburgh Pirates, and 1907 Chicago Cubs get a bye in round one, so they will wait. Round one is best of 3, round 2 best of 5, and rounds 3 and 4 are best of 7. So that's it. Unless you guys want to see it. Ken Castro says, do it, play it. Do it, play it. An exhibition? You mean there, Ken? Just an exhibition between these two teams? Because that shouldn't affect the playoffs. It's just going to be an exhibition. So let's do it. Robbie Wartburg saying play it. Robbie, you're due back to be doing a game. What are you talking about, man? Big Clue, he says, oh, do we ever want to see it? I think Big Clue, they're being a bit facetious, but that's all right. All right, let's play. What do we have here? We don't even have a park for the Orioles, so I don't know what we're going to do about that. We'll find a good old 19th century park for them. How about a Battle of the Titans? Let's play two teams against each other that are in the second round. How about the 1907 Pirates, or the 1909 Pirates and the 1907 Cubs? Let me just fix up the Cubs to get Westside Park. And I think we'll play this one in Chicago. So this is just good old Westside Park, or do we want Westside? I want Westside Park. Okay, so assign team to Park, which it is. Yep. Click OK. Let me grab a Westside Park here. And let's do this. Ballpark data. Let's go over here. W. Westside Park. And over here, a W. And let's see if we can find a nice Westside Park. So, although it's actually Westside Grounds, but I'm not going to be really picky about it if you guys aren't. Ooh, there's a neat looking one. It's kind of that sepia color. That one's kind of weird. Let's see. Let's go with the sepia color, guys. We'll select that as day. And then we'll do this one as a night photo. And then we'll do this guy as the colored version of this one as an alternate. Okay, we can always switch around. Let's make sure Chicago is set. And we are ready to go. All right. So the 1909 Pirates playing an exhibition against the 1907 Chicago Cubs. Pittsburgh, Chicago, and New York Giants. Really the first three great powers in baseball. So this should be a fun one. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if this is one that you sent me or not, Clinton. You've sent me a lot of ballparks. Steve sent me some. I've, of course, found a lot on my own, too. But Clinton has sent us so much parks. In fact, the aptly named Clinton Parks, we have so much to... We're giving our kudos about the Ned McGreevy League. A huge debt of thank yous to Clinton Parks for supplying so many of those... playing fields that we used in the Ned McGreevy League. So thank you, Clinton. All right, here we go. Exhibition game. And the Pirates versus the Cubbies. This should be fun. And here we go. Oh yeah, I love the look of this old ballpark. This is nice. And I think we'll let the computer do Chicago. And here we go. I'll just let the Computer do its thing. Except... Oh, this is weird. Oh, no. We're not... Abaticcio's not playing short. Are you kidding me? And we're going to bring Wagner. There we go. Dots Miller. Yeah, all right. Yeah. Again, exhibition. So let's do this. Yeah, Clinton. I'll just... and I have to set up the ballpark anyhow, so... Alright, so basically, in a nutshell, it's going to be Carl Lundgren for the Cubs taking the hill against Vic Willis. I have to set this up and then let you look at the... yeah, I guess I haven't used this one yet. What a cool looking ballpark this is, huh? Alright. So let me do this layout, and then Clinton, I'll definitely show you the pictures for both teams. Ah, there we go. Yeah, where'd you go? Where'd you go? Display. Park layout. That's what I want. Yep. Reset labels. See where it puts everything. Yeah, that's pretty good as far as the markers go. Let's just do the Zen thing here. Baseball stories by Dryden and Cy in the Tribune this year. Alright, the fences look pretty good except for right field. Which again, you guys can see if you're looking at this. This really isn't a fence. This is a crowd out here. So we're going to try to just kind of match it up a little bit if we can. Left field same way. Not at all uncommon. The owners wanting to cram as many people as they wanted in there. So this is not going to be a wall out here. These are fans. Do you imagine that today with all the insurance liability and everything? Never happen again. That's probably why players don't leave their gloves, I'm guessing, out on the field, right, when innings switch over. I'm guessing. Liability, somebody might trip and hurt themselves. Although in how many years of baseball have there ever been any injuries saying, oh, so-and-so tripped on the right fielder's glove and now he's dead for the season or something. So, I don't know. I do not know. Maybe somebody might even have that weird stat. How many players have tripped over gloves in the outfield? I mean, Babe Herman probably did. That would just be a given, right? Respect, though, Babe Herman, huh? Poor guy. Hell of a hitter, though. All stick, no field. Robbie Wartburg telling me, where is Robbie Wartburg? Robbie, you going to do a game tonight? Inquiring minds, the community wants to know. Oh, I guess this looks good enough. Close enough. There we go. Alright, so Clinton wanting to look at... I have to change options so Clinton can see pictures on both sides. Okay, so we'll click on Lundgren. You're not going to let me do this, are you? That's alright. We'll do it like this. Chicago. Yeah, okay. You're not going to let me do this? Oh, okay, because we're in the first inning. We'll get there, Clinton. That is why. Alright. Anyhow, back to it. Back to it. Clinton, is this the kind of weird injuries you get in baseball windows? What are you talking about? Baseball for Windows? Oh, if you said to injuries and fatigue, I don't know. Wow, you had me there going for a second, Robbie. I have no idea. I've never heard of a player like tripping over a glove or anything like that. I believe in the Ken Burns baseball documentary, they had a little vignette about that, and they said that that somehow players just didn't trip over gloves. So I doubt that it is. I doubt that's in there, Robbie. But who knows? All right, Fred Clark will lead it off, player manager for the 1909 Pittsburgh Pirates against Carl Lundgren. Lundgren's line in 1907, a 1.17 earned run average, 18 wins, 7 losses, 270 innings pitched, walked 92, struck out 84. Opponents hit just 189 against Lundgren, so not a big strikeout pitcher, but does say a lot about this great Cubs infield. And, of course, Tinker to Evers to Chance. Will we get to say it? We will see. Fred Clark in 1909 hit 287, 3 home runs, and 68 ribbies. And Clark with some pretty good speed if he gets on first. Wagner waits on deck. Lundgren finishing his warm-up pitches. Nice day here for this little exhibition game. Clark swings, grounded to short. Joe Tinker on to Frank Chance to retire Clark for out number 1. Game time, temperature, rather chilly, 53 degrees. The wind's 8 miles per hour in from left center. And not a cloud in the sky in this sepia-toned West Side Park. West Side grounds. Hannes Wagner, 339 in 1909, 5 homers, 100 runs batted in. Carl Lundgren deals to the Dutchman, count even on Wagner. Wagner popped on the infield. Evers ranging to his left, draws a beat on it, and brings it home. 2 down here for the Bucks in the first for Tommy Leach. Leach hit 261, 6 home runs, 43 ribbies in 1909. Tommy Leach, while not deserving of the National Baseball Hall of Fame, I think is a player that is, again, like Deacon Philippe, forgotten by the Pittsburgh Pirates franchise. And Tommy Leach was a fine, fine player. Lundgren deals now the 2-2. Leach, bounding ball to first. Frank Chance has it, the peerless leader, to retire Leach. And the side, the Bucks go in order. We go to the bottom of the first. It's the Pirates nothing, and the Cubs coming to bat for Vic Willis in 1909. A 2.24 earned run average. He went 22-11 with a save, 289 and 2/3 innings pitched, 83 walks, 95 strikeouts. Opponents hitting 230 against him. And if I have to refer to the third baseman YouTube, you're going to have to forgive me because that's his nickname. It's Jap Barbeau, unfortunately, and there's a picture of him. The 1-2, the peerless leader swings, grounded to Wagner, who ranges to his right and up with a strong peg. And this is going to be a throwing error getting past Bill Abstein. And Frank Chance will make it to second as the ball rolls all the way over near the dugout on the right-hand side. So Chicago with a runner in scoring position thanks to the Wagner error. And that brings up left fielder Jimmy Sheckard. Jimmy Sheckard, who we saw, along with Vic Willis, and a lot of these players we did see in our Ned McGreevy League. Sheckard, a 267 hitter, a home run, 36 ribbies for the Cubs. Chance, good lead off of first. Frank Chance with 35 steals in 1907. Willis brings it to Sheckard. Sheckard gets the bunt down. This one foul. And no, this one not bunted foul. Let me check something here, because that one showed foul. Nope, everything looking fine here. So I think that was just one of the strange things that happens in the chalkboard. So, all right, runners at the corners. Sheckard at first, Chance at third. Going to have to keep a close eye on this. Maybe let me just do something here because that is kind of weird. Display, park layout. I'm going to move the third baseman sort of up and over a little bit because that was clearly bunted foul. And I would do the same if that was the Pirates. So, all right. Let's see if that changes anything. All right, Frank Schulte. Schulte, 287 hitter, 2 home runs, 32 ribbies. Vic Willis from the stretch to Schulte. Schulte gets the bunt down. Willis has it on to Dots Miller covering at first. So Chance will hold 1 down. Big Clue says they're talking about a game here. And there's World's Worst Gamer coming in. So welcome in, guys, and keep the chat going. Have fun. Johnny Kling now catcher for these 1907 Cubs. 284 hitter, home run, 43 runs batted in. Chance at third, Sheckard at second, 1 out. Willis works from the stretch. Kling swinging on the first pitch, base it up the middle. Leach has it. Kling with a double, 2 RBI, scoring 2 for the Cubs here, and it's 2-0 Chicago in the bottom of the first. Solly Hoffman, center fielder, hitting .258, a home run, 36 runs batted in. Johnny Kling at second. Willis brings it. Hoffman swinging on the first pitch. And this one grounded hard to Dots Miller at first, on to Bill Abstein at first for the 4-3 putout. 2 down. Johnny Kling moves to third on the play for Harry Steinfeld. Steinfeld forgotten in the Tinker to Evers to Chance poem by Franklin P. Adams. And I'm sure they turned a few, 5-4, 3 double plays. But Harry Steinfeld hit .266, a home run, 70 runs batted in. Johnny the Crab Evers waits on deck. Vic Willis brings the 3-1 to Steinfeld. Steinfeld lays off. Vic Willis issues his first free pass. 2 in for the Cubs in the bottom of the first, and 2 down for the Crab. Johnny Evers, .250 hitter, 2 home runs, 51 runs batted in. Willis from the stretch and the 1-1 to Evers. Evers cuts on this, fly ball to right. Chief Wilson going back on it in right field to make the catch. But Chicago gets 2 runs, 1 hit, 2 errors. We've played 1, and it's the 1907 Cubs 2, the 1909 Pirates nothing. Due up, Dots Miller, Moon Gibson, and Chief Wilson. Dolph Lundgren ready to deal. Johnny Kling sets the target for Lundgren. The 3-1 delivery to Dots Miller, and Miller lays off on that pitch. This one just a little bit low, and Dots Miller gets the walk. So the first free pass issued by Lundgren of the Cubs, Carl Lundgren. Dots Miller with 14 steals, and here's catcher George Gibson. Gibson hit a respectable .265 in 1909 for these Buccos, 52 runs batted in, and 2 home runs. Lundgren brings the 3-1 pitch to Gibson, and Gibson chopper to first. Frank Chance will take this one unassisted to retire Gibson. Dots Miller moves into scoring position for Chief Wilson. Wilson, a .272 hitter, 4 dingers, 59 ribbies for him. Kling with the signs. Lundgren now has one he likes. Wilson swinging on the first pitch. Bounding ball to short. Joe Tinker up with it. The throw across to the peerless leader Chance. The stretch. And he is out. Dots Miller moving to third. So Frank Chance making a great play on that ball that threatened to go low and by him. Dots Miller now just 90 feet away. The Buccos looking for their first run here in the second for Bill Abstein, the first baseman, hitting .260, a home run, 70 runs batted in. Lundgren from the stretch, full counter, and Abstein, and Abstein lays off. So runners at the corners for the Pirates. And here's third baseman Jap Barbeau, light hitting third baseman, a .220 average of 25 runs batted in. Carl Lundgren sets and delivers. He's delivered 2 free passes now in this game. Brings it home to Barbeau, the 2-2. Barbeau swings, and this should be out number 3. Solly Hoffman measures it in center. Nice catch by Hoffman. So side retired. The Pirates strand 2, and we go to the bottom of the second. And it's Chicago 2, Pittsburgh nothing. As Joe Tinker will lead it off, Dolph Lundgren or Carl Lundgren, and in the top of the order, and Frank Chance. Joe Tinker in 1907 hit .221, a home run, and 36 runs batted in. Willis winds and fires, chopping ball. Abstein will take it at first for out number 1. Capacity crowd here in Chicago as Carl Lundgren, who hit .106 with 3 runs batted in for the 1907 Cubs, strides to the box. Settles in. Willis and Gibson ready. Willis with the wind and the 1-0 pitch to Lundgren. Lundgren solidly stroked base hit to left. Frank Chance coming in quickly on that ball, gets it to the Flying Dutchman. Second hit for the Cubs in this game. Lundgren aboard. And we're back at the top of the order, and Frank Chance, the peerless leader, was safe on a throwing error back in the first, and it proved to be costly for the Bucks. Willis checks Lundgren at first, the 2-0 delivery to Chance. Chance swings, grounded to third. Barbeau to Miller, but the slide by Lundgren is going to break up the double play, and Chance will make it to first. 2 down for Jimmy Sheckard. Safe on an error back in the first. Willis throws over. Chance back safely. Or no, they picked him off. So Chance is picked off. Let's look at that one again. Abstein's quick tag, and Chance is out. So no runs, 1 hit, no errors, nobody left. We played 2. 2-0. Cubs over the Pirates. And we'll see Vic Willis in the background at the top of the order for the Pittsburgh Pirates, and Fred Clark and Hannes Wagner. Vic Willis in 1909, a 136 hitter, 2 runs batted in. Hope you guys are enjoying this exhibition game that will be of 2 teams that are actually in the second round, so getting a bye in the first, in the Ken Castro Corn League. Will start this week, along with the Ned McGreevy World Series Game 1 between Manchester and Philadelphia. Hopefully, if Midlife Crisis tunes in or catches this, if he can let me know when he'll be in, because I know he wants to set his lineups. He's allowed the computer to do it for him pretty much in the regular season in Ned McGreevy, but wants to double check, knowing he's facing a tough Manchester team. Lundgren now ready to fire to Willis. Here it comes. Willis swings on the first pitch. Grounder to first. Frank Chance. That's a textbook 3 unassisted. 1 away as Chance steps on the bag. Fred Clark now are back at the top of the order. Clark grounded to short. Lundgren delivers to Clark. The 3-1. Clark lays off. Low and inside. So Lundgren missing with the fastball. That's the 3rd free pass issued by Carl Lundgren. And Fred Clark at first. 31 steals in 1909 for Fred Clark. Hannes Wagner, nothing for 1. Popped to second back in the first. Wagner also with an error in the contest. Lundgren checks Clark at first, brings it home. And Wagner lays off. And Lundgren giving up some free passes all over the place. So 2 aboard for the Bucks, 1 out for Tommy Leach. Speed on the base paths for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Tommy nothing for 1. He grounded to first back in the first. Lundgren brings it home. The 0-1 delivery to Leach. Leach swings, bounding ball to short. Tinker to Evers to Chance, and we finally get to say it. And the Tinker to Evers to Chance double play retires the side. No runs, no hits, no errors, 2 walks in the inning. The Bucks do not capitalize. And we go to the bottom of the 3rd. It's the Cubs 2 and the Pirates nothing. As Todd B says, the sea is silent in corn. All right. So Digital Diamond, it just says coming soon on Steam, but I've heard anywhere between the 24th and 28th of March, Todd. So just about the time that Out of the Park is going to drop. So looking forward to seeing that the big improvement. Apparently this is going to be pretty huge for Digital Diamond this year. Doesn't look like he's going to change up library handling. But again, as we talked about for replays, it's super, super easy. And you can pretty much create anything you want. So Digital Diamond Baseball, really, really a good baseball game. Looking forward to, as you cards and dice players know, you can actually use Digital Diamond with some existing board games. I know the Strat's one of them. I forget the other ones. But I guess with this one, I guess there's at least an integration of the cards from Status Pro Baseball, but whether you actually be able to sort of play Status Pro Baseball on Digital Diamond, I'm not really clear about that. But I am looking forward to it this year. So that and Out of the Park will certainly be keeping us busy, along with this awesome game here, and Baseball for Windows, and Diamond Mine. Although Diamond Mine, that's pretty much that's like my offline love. Just wish they would add in a crowd of Diamond Mine. Then I would do it on here. Alright, Jimmy Schecker deleted off here. Schecker will be followed by Frank Schulte and Johnny Kling. Vic Willis delivers, and Schecker base hit to right. Wilson up with it. And Schecker to board. The Cubbies picking up run number 3. And Schecker with 31 steals. Good lead. Bill Abstein waiting to receive the throw over from Willis. Should it come? Frank Schulte sacrificed back in the first. Willis throws over. Schecker back easily. Willis comes home with it. Schulte swings on the first pitch. Bunt. Willis will go to first. Miller has it to retire Schulte. Sacrifice complete. Jimmy Schecker moves into scoring position for the Cubs. And Johnny Kling, 1 for 1. RBI double for the catcher. Scoring Frank Chance and Jimmy Schecker. And that's been the scoring thus far. Early goings here, just in the bottom of the third. 2-0 in favor of the Cubs. Willis brings it to Kling. The 0-1 delivery. Schecker, good lead off at second. Kling cuts on this one. Hard grounder to third. Barbeau's only play will be the first, and it's going to be close. And that's an error on Jack Barbeau. And coming around to score is Jimmy Schecker. So another error for the Pittsburgh Pirates. That's the third, and these errors, 2 of them costly for the Bucks. It's a 3-0 Cubs lead. So the bad throw by Barbeau allows Schecker to score from second, and it is now 3-0. Center fielder Sully Hoffman steps to the plate. He's grounded to second. Willis brings it. Hoffman swings, lined to Dots Miller for out number 2. So a little frozen rope handed by the Bucko second baseman. 2 away here for Harry Steinfeld. Walked back in the first against Willis. Vic Willis, this is the only walk, no strikeouts for Willis thus far. Willis checks Kling, throws over, Kling back safely. Johnny Kling with 9 steals. But we are playing dead ball now, and anything is possible. Willis with the wind and the 1-0 delivery to Harry Steinfeld. Steinfeld, hard hit ground ball to first, but Abstein taking on a nice hop to retire Steinfeld. So 1 run on 1 hit, and that run due to a costly error, this time by Jack Barbeau at third for the Pirates. We go to the 4th, and it's the Cubs 3 and the Pirates nothing. Steve Tate, he says lots of excitement this time of year for baseball fans. Welcome in, Steve. Absolutely. Yep, Todd B, I know, bottom of the sexton. A little tired, buddy. I'm thrown off here. My body's saying it should be 9:53. Not almost time to go to sleep. PM. That's all right. Get through tomorrow and used to it then. So Dots Miller will lead it off here. George Gibson and Chief Wilson. Miller walks back in the second. Carl Lundgren has issued 4 free passes. No strikeouts for these pitchers yet. Lundgren winds and deals the 1-2 to Miller. Miller swings, chopper to short. Tinker up with it in plenty of time. On to Chance. And so far, the highlight of this game for me has been to be able to say Tinker to Evers to Chance on a double play. So Ken Castro, remember we did we matched up the 1908 Cubs and Giants in a 7-game series, and we weren't able to do Tinker to Evers to Chance even once. The Cubs not turning that particular double play. There was a Steinfeld to Evers to Chance, but there was not a Tinker to Evers to Chance. So now I'm happy. Lundgren sets and fires to George Gibson, who grounded to first back in the second. Lundgren brings the 2-0. Gibson swings, fly ball to right. Schulte back on it, makes the catch. 2 up, 2 down for the Pittsburgh Pirates, and Chief Wilson, the right fielder, grounded to short last time. Lundgren's 1-1 delivery. Wilson cuts on this curveball, grounded to Tinker at short, Tinker to Chance, and Wilson is retired. The Bucks go quietly, and we head to the bottom of the 4th inning, and it's Chicago 3, Pittsburgh nothing. It's good to see Tate. Good to see Steve Tate in here. He says Seinfeld to Costanza to Kramer. And Big Clue says, so much for that gonfalon bubble. Quoting a stanza from that famous poem by Franklin P. Adams. These are the saddest of possible words, Tinker to Evers to Chance. A trio of bear cubs and fleeter than birds, Tinker to Evers to Chance. Mercilessly pricking our gonfalon bubble, making a giant hit into a double. Words that are weighty with nothing but trouble. Tinker to Evers to Chance. Johnny Evers will lead it off here. And you know, these three didn't like each other too much. Chance trying to keep it, but Tinker and Evers, yeah, there wasn't a lot of love. And, of course, some have argued that they may, certainly not the best baseball, maybe the baseball best double play combination of its time. But I'm trying to think of who it was in the, thinking back, I believe it was the Ken Burns documentary, who said that probably it just fit better into the meter of the poem by Franklin P. Adams. But they did turn some double plays, and Frank Chance, definite Hall of Famer, deservedly so. Evers a pretty good player. Tinker good players, certainly, and turned their share of double plays. Johnny Evers, nothing for 1. He flied to deep right center. It's one of those just nice things in baseball we have with us that no one remembers anymore except the guys in this chat. Evers swings. Bounding ball, dots Miller, unable to hold on to it, and Evers at first. That is error number 4 for the Pittsburgh Pirates of 1909, and Evers aboard thanks to the E4. 46 steals for the Crab as Joe Tinker steps in. Tinker is nothing for 1, grounded to first, back in the second. Willis throws over. Evers back safely ahead of the Absine tag. The Cubs, the Bears in here watching his Cubs winning thus far 3-0. Because the Pirates are indeed fielding this like an exhibition game. They're saving their energy for the games that count. Well, I'm hoping so. This is my horse in the race when we start the actual tournament this week. But won't see the Pittsburgh Pirates until round 2, nor will we see the Chicago Cubs until round 2. So these two powerhouse teams getting a bye in the first round. Tinker in the box, nobody on, 1 out. Vic Willis with the 0-2 to Tinker, and Tinker pops this one behind home plate. George Gibson flings aside the mask and drops the ball. Error number 5. Vic Willis has to be a little bit frustrated out there now. So Joe Tinker gets another chance, and here's the 0-2 from Willis. And Tinker swings, and that error does hurt. Base hit to right as Chief Wilson gets it back in quickly to Dots Miller. So Joe Tinker aboard. And one thing that this double play tandem had and this Cubs team had was a hell of a lot of speed. Wagner to Miller to Abstein just don't have this. Just doesn't have the same. Just didn't have the same ring to it. Says Big Clue. Isn't that true? Todd B says Dewey, Cheatham, and Howe. Do not hire them as your lawyers. All right, Carl Lundgren is 1 for 1. Singled back in the second. Tinker aboard at first, 1 out. Pirates infield playing in. Willis deals. Lundgren gets a nice bunt down. Gibson's only play will be to first, with Dots Miller covering on the 2-4 putout. Tinker advances on the sacrifice. 2 away. Runner in scoring position for Frank Chance. Frank Chance was safe on a throwing error in the first and grounded out in the second. So big story thus far. 5 errors for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Willis brings it home. Full count to Chance. Chance lays off, and he'll take a walk down to first base. So crazy speed for the Cubs. Chance in 1907 had 35 steals. Tinker with 20, and here's Jimmy Sheckard, who is 1 for 1. Safe on an error in the first and a single in the third. Willis checks the runners. The 2-0 to Jimmy Sheckard. Sheckard swings, base hit, left field past a diving Hannes Wagner. Tinker rounding third, and he will score easily. 4-0 Chicago Cubs in the bottom of the fourth as Frank Schulte steps in. Sacrifice in the first and bunted out, or sacrifice in the first and the third, so Schulte nothing for 2. Or nothing at all, I should say. Willis brings it to 2-0. Schulte, base hit into right. This one getting into the crowd and coming around to score. Frank Schulte picks up the triple, and in to score Frank Chance and Jimmy Sheckard, and this one turned into a laugher now. It is 6-0. Chicago scoring 2 in the first, 1 in the third, and so far 3 here in the fourth. So 2 away for Johnny Kling, batting with Schulte at third. Schulte scampering down a bit the line at third. Willis working from the stretch again. The 2-1 to Johnny Kling. Fly ball, twisting foul on the left-hand side. Fred Clark giving chase. And this one gets out of play. Count even now on Johnny Kling. Willis brings it home again. Kling smacks this one to short. Wagner has it. On to Bill Abstein to retire the side, but 3 runs, 3 hits, 2 errors for the Pittsburgh Pirates. We've played 4 at Westside, and it's 6-0 Chicago. Bill Abstein, Jap Barbeau, and Vic Willis due up. So we're going to have a quick look here at our just to give you a sense of what's going on right now. None of the Chicago runs are earned. So that's how badly the Bucks are playing right now. 6 runs, none of them earned. So Vic Willis cannot be a happy camper out there right now. Bill Abstein in the box now against Carl Lundgren. Lundgren has walked 4 in the game, and it hasn't bitten him. You can look at the scoreboard and see what's going on. Lundgren winds and fires the 0-2 to Abstein. Fastball chopped to first. Chance has it. 3 unassisted and 1 down. So the Pirates playing a sloppy game to say the least. And Chicago managing 6 hits off of Vic Willis, but it's the errors killing the Buccos today. Maybe it is time to bring in the scrubs. Who knows? So the only infielder for the Pirates not to make an error is Bill Abstein. Barbeau, Wagner, and Miller each with errors. Lundgren brings it home to Barbeau. Here's the 0-2. Barbeau come back to the mound. Lundgren fields it off the slab. And on to Frank Chance for the 1-3 putout. 2 up, 2 down for Vic Willis. Grounded out Grounded to first, back in the third. Lundgren's 0-2 to Vic Willis. Curveball, Willis. Chopping ball to first. Chance has it onto Lundgren, covering. And the Bucks go quietly, and we go to the bottom of the fifth. It is still 6-0. As Solly Hoffman, Harry Steinfeld, and Johnny the Crab Evers will bat. The number 5, 6, 7 hitters in this Chicago Cubs order. These Cubs would meet the Detroit Tigers in the World Series in 1908. The Pittsburgh Pirates would meet the Detroit Tigers in 1907, and the 1909 Pirates would meet the Tigers in the 1909 World Series. And the Tigers 1-1 as far as those World Series go. Willis deals to Hoffman. Here's the 1-0. Hoffman swings, base hit to left field. Clark up with it. And Solly Hoffman aboard. So 29 steals for him. Hoffman becomes the 7th hit for the Chicago Cubs. Can the Bucks get through an inning without an error? So 5 errors in 4 innings thus far for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Gibson sets the target for Harry Steinfeld, who is walked and grounded out. Hoffman, good lead at first. Wilson with a check of the runner brings home the 0-2 pitch. Steinfeld swings, base hit into center. Leach up with it, and Steinfeld, tearing around the bases, slides into second for a double. So 2 in scoring position. And depending upon this, if the Cubs score, it will be their first earned run. Johnny Evers, nothing for 2. He is flied out, and he was safe on an error in the 4th. 0 for 2 for Evers. Willis once again from the stretch. The 1-2 to Johnny Evers. Evers swings. This one a weak popper on the left-hand side foul, and this one will get out of play. The 1-2 now coming from Vic Willis. Evers swings, fly ball to right. This will be deep enough as Wilson has it. And trotting home is Solly Hoffman. 7-0, Chicago picking up its first earned run. It's 7-0. So bottom of the 5th action going on here. And Joe Tinker is 1 for 2. The shortstop grounded at first and then singled in the 4th. Willis comes home with it, the 3-1. And Tinker lays off. This one in the dirt, a little worm killer. And Joe Tinker aboard. Carl Lundgren 1 for 1. Pittsburgh definitely looking bunt here. Abstein and Barbeau in at the corners. Lundgren swinging away. Comebacker. Willis has it. Quick throw to Wagner. They will not turn 2, but the second out. So nice heads-up play by Vic Willis to go to second. But runners at the corners for Frank Chance, who's nothing for 2. Not part of the hit parade. He was safe on a throwing error in the 1st. Grounded to 3rd and walked in the 4th. Willis from the stretch, 2 down, and a 3-1 to the peerless leader. Chance, base hit, RBI single scoring Harry Steinfeld. Lundgren rounding second. The throw to 3rd, Barbeau's tag not in time. 8-0 Cubs. In dead ball terms, we have us a blowout. Jimmy Sheckard a perfect 2 for 2 at the plate. The Bucks not able to get this 3rd out. Joe Tinker scored actually on the RBI. So, but again, Tinker made it aboard on an error. Willis from the stretch and the 0-1 to Jimmy Sheckard. Sheckard swings, chopper to first. Abstein has it. And the Bucks give up 2 more runs, 3 hits, no errors. And it's the Chicago Cubs of 1907-8 and the 1909 Pittsburgh Pirates. Nothing. Nada. Big Clue says that the Tigers near misses. You rarely hear about the 1967 team for some reason. That impossible dream crap from New England just dominates the narrative, I guess. And Clinton Parks heading out for me. He says, don't forget to hit the like button. Have a good night, Clinton. Always good to see you in here. All right. And a lot of Three Stooges being bandied about here with Curl Up and Die and Dewey, Cheatham, and Howe and all that good stuff. I believe that's all Three Stooges stuff. If not, classic comedy. All right, Fred Clark, the leadoff hitter for the Pittsburgh Pirates here in the 6th, batting with the bases empty and down 8 runs. And Clark just a little bit flummoxed about what his squad is doing. He's the player manager for these Bucks in 1909. Lundgren fires home the 2-1 to Fred Clark. And Clark fouls this one on the first base side and out of play. Clark back in the box now. Count even on him. Lundgren brings it home. And Clark works a walk. So Carl Lundgren has issued his 5th free pass. The Pirates not able to capitalize on Lundgren's kindness, however. Hannes Wagner, nothing for 1. He's popped to second and walked into third. Lundgren brings it in a 1-2 delivery to Wagner. Wagner swings routine fly ball to center. Hoffman has it. Clark gets back to first. 1 down here in the top of the 6th. Tommy Leach is nothing for 2. Grounded out and grounded into a double play in the 3rd. Clark at first with 31 steals. Good lead for him. Lundgren with a check of the runner. The 1-1 to Leach. Leach swings the line to right to Joe Tinker at short. So 2 down, a runner on for the Bucks, and the magic continues for Carl Lundgren as Dots Miller, who's walked and grounded to short, comes to the plate now. Steps in, digs a little hole there on the right-hand side. Lundgren brings it, the 1-2. Miller swings base hit up the middle, and the Pirates break up the no-hitter here in the top of the 6th. So the Bucks with 2 aboard for George Moon Gibson, who is nothing for 2. Grounded to first, fly to deep right. Clark at second, Miller at first. Dots Miller with 14 steals. So pretty good speed for the Bucks, but the Bucks have gotten runners on and in scoring position and just get shut down. Lundgren brings it, the 1-0 to Gibson. Gibson swings, hard ground ball to third. Steinfeld to Evers. They will not turn 2, though. Or will they? Yes, they will. Let me look at that again. That was a weird one. So, yep, they get Clark and they get Miller. So I'm not sure why they're saying inning is over. That's weird. Let's look at this every once in a while. Weird things. Because there was 1 out. That was my bad. All right. All right, Frank Schulte will lead it off here in the bottom of the 6th, 8-0. And Carl Lundgren has a 1-hitter going. Schulte 1 for 1. Willis with the 2-1. Schulte swings, fly ball to center. Tommy Leach ranges on it and has it for out number 1. Johnny Kling 1 for 3. These Bucks have a long way to go to catch up. The line on these teams thus far for Chicago 8-9-0 and for Pittsburgh 0-1-5. So Johnny Kling busy 1 for 3 today. Legit RBI back in the first, sort of legit anyhow. Again, errors. And then when he grounded to third was safe on a throwing error, scoring Jimmy Sheckard back in the third, and he grounded to short in the 4th. Vic Willis with the 1-0 delivery, and Johnny Kling, hard hit ground ball to third, but Jack Barbeau making a nice play on that to retire Kling for out number 2. Solly Hoffman 1 for 3, singled back in the 5th. Willis winds and fires. Hoffman swinging in the first pitch, base hit to right. Chief Wilson up with it. So Hoffman aboard. That's the 10th hit now for the Chicago Cubs. Harry Steinfeld 1 for 2, doubled his last time up. Sully Hoffman 29 steals in 1907. Pretty good lead. 2 down. Willis winds and fires the 1-0. Fastball. And Steinfeld. This one under the glove of Dots Miller into right field for a base hit. Hoffman will round second and make it to third easily. Runners at the corners for the Cubs. 2 down. As Todd B would like to see Adrienne Barbeau. I don't think he'd want to see her now, but maybe as she was. Adrienne may be a little victim of gravity these days. Steinfeld with 19 steals at first. 2 outs. Gibson out to chat with Willis for a moment. Back behind the dish. The delivery to Johnny Evers. The 2-0 delivery to the Crab. Fastball chopped up the middle. Dots Miller to Wagner. And that will retire the side. No runs, 2 hits, no errors. When we go to the 7th, it's the Cubs 8 and the Pirates nothing. Due up, Chief Wilson, Bill Abstein, and Jeff Barbeau. So Chief Wilson has grounded out twice. Just 1 hit against Carl Lundgren in this game. Lundgren brings it home. The 1-1. Wilson fouls this fastball back. Count 1-2. Here it comes to Wilson. And Wilson draws the walk, so Lundgren, once again, out of the kindness of his heart, issues his 6th free pass. Chief Wilson, 17 steals. Bill Abstein, nothing for 1. Lundgren brings it now, the 0-1. Abstein swings, base hit to left, and Wilson rounding second, and he's going to hold as Jimmy Schecker gets the ball quickly into shortstop Joe Tinker. Nobody out. The Bucks with 2 aboard for Jap Barbeau, who is nothing for 2. Lundgren brings it home. 3-0. Barbeau draws the walk, and the Pittsburgh Pirates now have the bases loaded for Vic Willis. It's decision time here in Chicago. So Willis, as we look at our box score here for Vic Willis, out of the 8 runs, 2 are earned. I think we're going to pinch hit for Vic Willis, but let's have a look at our bullpen and see what we have here, or our bench, and see who we have. Boy, I'm not liking our chances here against Lundgren at all. To Cubs the Bears saying, if the old Adrienne Barbeau played, the batters would get good wood. Isn't that the truth? You know, nobody out. Lundgren's given up a lot of free passes, but this is a tough decision. Send in Rocky. Yo, Adrian. We're going to have Willis. Oh, man. Nah, they're looking bunt. Yeah, he beat the hell out of Lundgren, so there is a strong Rocky connection. They're looking bunt, let's go for it. What the hell? Lundgren delivers to Willis, the 0-1 delivery. Willis gets the bunt down. Scheckerd has it, the throw home. And the Bucks pick up a run, so it works. The bunt for hit works with the bases loaded, and the Pittsburgh Pirates pick up their first run here in the 7th, so pat on the back for this Pittsburgh manager, because I think Willis deserves to stay in there, and I'm not liking the looks of our bullpen right now. Fred Clark back at the top of the order, 0 for 1. Just an above-average bunter. We're going to let Fred hit away. Abstein at third, Barbeau at second, and Willis at first. Here's a delivery by Lundgren and the 1-1. Clark swings, ground ball to third. Steinfeld to Evers to Chance, and that will be 2 outs, but Abstein will come in to score the second Pittsburgh Pirate run. So 8-2 now. The Pirates plating 2 here in the top of the 7th. Hannes Wagner, nothing for 2. Pardon me, including a walk. Lundgren fires it in. Wagner swings, chopped to short, and a great diving stop by Joe Tinker at short. Covered probably, oh my God, half the distance. A good 40 feet there. And the Pirates come up with 2 runs and 1 hit, no errors. 7th inning stretch time here. It's 8-2 in favor of the Cubs of 1907 over the Bucks of 1909. We are hoping Robbie Wartburg should be early enough for him out there in the Lone Star State. Lucky bum. It's 10-19 over there. Robbie off doing whatever. Hopefully he's going to do a game tonight for you guys. All right, bottom of the 7th, Joe Tinker, Carl Lundgren, and Frank Chance. Vic Willis has walked 3. No strikeouts by these batters. Willis brings it home, the 1-0. Tinker swings, chopper up the middle. Wagner ranging to his left and making a nice play to Abstein on the 6-3, 1 away. Lundgren 1 for 2. Willis winds and fires. Lundgren swinging on the first pitch, base hit into left. Fred Clark up with it. And we're going to have a look at our bullpen now. Whew. And I think we're going to bring in, wow, we're going to bring in Babe Adams. So Vic Willis's day is done. The line on Adams, greatest pitcher in Pirates history. Of course, Vic Willis, very good. Howie Kamnitz. We had some good pitchers, but Pittsburgh not known for its great pitching, unlike a lot of other clubs. Babe Adams, a 1.11 earned run average. Can't forget Steve Blass, of course. 12 wins, 3 losses, 2 saves. Babe Adams was absolutely amazing in the 1909 World Series. 130 innings pitched, 23 strikeouts, 65 walks, a whip of .854, and opponents hitting just .190 against Babe Adams. There's a picture of Babe Adams right there. Adams would be a grizzled veteran when the Bucks would play the 1925 World Series against the Washington Senators. Lundgren at first, 1 down. Frank Chance, 1 for 3. RBI single back in the 5th. Adams checks the runner, the 1-0. Chance swings, chopped to Wagner at short. Wagner will take the safe play at first. Abstein has it. And Chance is retired. Lundgren in scoring position, 2 down for Jimmy Sheckard. As Adams brings it home, the 2-2 pitch. Sheckard swings, bounding ball to first. Abstein takes it unassisted, and we go to the 8th inning. Chicago 8, Pittsburgh 2. We've heard nothing from Robbie Wartburg. So, Robbie, it'll be up to you to announce when you have games, bud. So, anyhow. So Tommy Leach will lead it off here for the Pittsburgh Pirates. The number 3, 4, 5 hitters drew up. Leach, Miller, and Gibson. So 2 hits given up by Carl Lundgren in this game. The Bucks just getting 2 runs. Chicago has stranded 9. Pittsburgh has stranded 6 as Lundgren winds and fires the 0-1. Leach swings, routine fly ball to center. Sully Hoffman has it in his sights and in his glove. 1 up, 1 down here in Chicago in the top of the 8th. Dots Miller has walked, grounded out, and singled. Lundgren brings the 1-2 pitch to Dots Miller. Lofted to left. Sheckard at the line, making the catch. Two quick outs here for the Pittsburgh Pirates in the top of the 8th. And that brings up Moon Gibson, who is nothing for 3. Lundgren winds in the 2-1 delivery. Gibson swings, fly ball center field. Solly Hoffman has it. And the Bucks go quietly, and we go to the bottom of the 8th. Due up, Frank Schulte, Johnny Kling, and Solly Hoffman. Cubs enjoying an 8-2 lead. Schulte 1 for 2. Tripled back in the 4th, scoring Frank Chance and Jimmy Sheckard. Adams with a 3-1 delivery. Schulte cuts on, or does not cut on this. Started to go around, but held up, and it's ball 4. So Babe Adams issuing a walk here on a relief for Vic Willis. Johnny Kling is 1 for 4. Adams checks the runner, the 1-1 to Kling. Kling swings, base hit right field. Kling going for 2. The throw, Wagner's tag, not in time. And Kling picking up the double. Schulte moves to 3rd. 2 in scoring position for the Chicago Cubs. Nobody out here in the bottom of the 8th for Solly Hoffman, who's having a good day at the dish. He is 2 for 4. 13 hits now for the Chicago Cubs. Adams from the stretch in the 0-1. Hoffman punches this one to Miller. Miller will get the put out, but Schulte will come in to score. 1 out, and it's 9-2 the Cubs. So the Bucks shut out until the 7th, managed 2 runs, but that's it. And Chicago picks up another one here in the 8th. The Cubs have been held scoreless only in the 2nd, 6th, and 7th innings. Otherwise scoring. And 3 innings with crooked numbers thus far in the 1st, the 4th, and the 5th. Babe Adams from the stretch pitching with 1 out to Steinfeld. Steinfeld sends this out to center. Tommy Leach has it. Kling tags, and this will be run number 10 for the Cubs. 10-2 your score with 2 down, and Johnny Evers is nothing for 4. Babe Adams works to the crab. Full count. Evers chops this one to Wagner. Wagner with a hard peg to first. And Evers is out on a great play by Wagner, ranging hard to his right and making a very strong throw. We go to the top of the 9th. And the Pittsburgh Pirates down 8 runs in the bottom of their order. Chief Wilson, Bill Abstein, and Jap Barbeau. Wilson nothing for 2. Lundgren looking easily for an easy complete game win, but base hit into right field for Chief Wilson. And the Bucks have a runner aboard. Johnny Kling with a great arm out there behind the dish. Lundgren now to face Abstein, who's 1 for 2. Lundgren brings it home, the 2-0. Abstein swings. Grounder, Lundgren to Evers, to Chance for the double play. And it's down to Jap Barbeau. Jap Barbeau, nothing for 2. The wind in the 0-1 pitch. And it looks like the Cubs have this one won, this exhibition. Tinker to Chance, and that does it. And in a very unexciting game, Chicago Cubs defeat the Pittsburgh Pirates 10-2. We'll just look at the highlights here and talk about the pitching. The error-prone Buccos here. The most we can say about the Bucks is they hadn't committed an error in 3 or 4 innings. That's about it. No highlights for the Pittsburgh Pirates. For the Chicago Cubs, on the other hand, Jimmy Sheckard goes 2 for 4. Frank Schulte 1 for 2 with 2 runs batted in, and Johnny Kling 2 for 5 with 2 ribbies. Let's look at this pitching for a minute. So Willis, 8 runs, 2 earned. And then Babe Adams, 2 runs, both earned. So the errors just nasty. And let's look at the errors. So Jap Barbeau, 2 errors in a game. George Gibson 1, Dots Miller 1, and Hannes Wagner 1. So Abstein, the only member of the Bucks infield, of course not counting the pitcher, to escape the error bug today. So there you go, a little exhibition, and the Buccos glad this one does not count. So there we go, guys, that's it. and it's gonna be a fun one. So I want to thank everybody for coming in tonight. It's been a lot of fun. I know some people are keeping up in the World Baseball Classic. I've not watched a single game, but might catch some highlights of the United States versus Great Britain. I know that the Netherlands beat Cuba the other day, so that was something. I don't know. I think the Netherlands were playing today. So one of the two countries that I lived in across the pond. Ireland not in the World Baseball Classic. But baseball is taking hold in Ireland slowly. But Ireland are number one in rugby, so gotta love that. So, Lord willing and the creeks don't rise, we'll be back tomorrow night for some more baseball. You're most welcome, Ken Castro. So thanks to Cousin Ken, to Big Clue, to Todd B, World's Worst Gamer. The Cubs, the Bears. Robbie Wartburg, Clinton Parks, Steve Tate, and so we go back and 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 back. Make sure we get who we can. I know Clee Baseball Fan 879, RGL Network. Catch his game tomorrow night. Yankees Red Sox 1978. Should be a good one. Battling for first place in Robert's replay in 1988. All right, thank you, Robbie. Robbie saying great game. So Robbie says he's going to do a game. So guys, if you want to catch some baseball for Windows Action 1920, head on over to Robbie's house, and we'll see you tomorrow night. In the meantime, see you around the batting cage.